stop everything you're doing right now. Before YouTube deletes this video, listen closely. What if I told you that everything you know about death is a lie? Imagine an ancient hidden text that claims to map out exactly what happens the moment you draw your last breath. A text so profound, it doesn't just talk about the afterlife, it guides you through it. But there's a twist. Miss one moment in this journey, and you risk eternal entrapment. Today you're about to unlock the Tibetan Book of the Dead, a sacred guide crafted over 1,000 years ago, written to take us to the edge of existence and back. Even in our age of advanced technology and incredible scientific breakthroughs, there's one question that continues to evade definitive answers. Despite all our progress, we remain just as in the dark about what happens after death as the ancient civilizations of Tibet or any other ancient culture that pondered this mystery. Maybe that's exactly why this book retains its extraordinary power, because it still resonates deeply within the human spirit. It continues to capture the imaginations of people all over the world, regardless of background or belief. It boldly ventures to address the most profound question of all: what lies beyond this life? Something we all wonder about at our core. Throughout the ages, this particular text has captivated the curiosity of monks, mystics, and even scientists alike. Why has it continued to intrigue so many across different periods and disciplines? Because it presents a claim that shakes the very foundation of our understanding of life and death. It suggests that consciousness does not simply come to an abrupt halt when our physical bodies cease to function. Instead, it proposes that consciousness persists, embarking on a mysterious journey through unseen, often intangible realms beyond our normal perception. Each of these stages or levels of existence purportedly offers profound opportunities, paths toward ultimate liberation from the cycle of rebirth or gateways to another existence altogether. But here's where things take an even more astonishing turn. Many of these ancient accounts and descriptions surprisingly resemble what people currently report experiencing during near-death episodes. Those who have narrowly escaped the brink of clinical death often describe encountering a radiant, brilliant light. They speak of coming face to face with spiritual beings or entities, and many describe an overwhelming sense of deep, enduring peace. Could it really be mere coincidence that ancient texts describing such journeys align so closely with modern testimonies of similar experiences? Or is there something more profound at play, bridging the gap between old mystical wisdom and contemporary scientific observations? Or are we perhaps catching a fleeting glimpse into the core structure of consciousness itself? Consider the profound and potentially transformative realizations that could come from such insights. What if these teachings hold the key to unlocking deep understandings of our minds, our awareness, perception, and the very foundation of our identity? Could the study of this ancient, sacred text provide us with new perspectives on the nature of reality itself, on how we experience and interpret the world around us, in ways we haven't even imagined before? The possibilities are truly staggering. They connect the timeless wisdom of spiritual traditions with the most advanced, contemporary research into the nature of awareness and consciousness. But here's where it gets even more intriguing. The true strength and significance of the Tibetan Book of the Dead isn't merely in its detailed descriptions of death and the afterlife. There's a much deeper, more profound power woven into its teachings that extends far beyond the concept of mortality. It's what it can reveal to us about the nature of life itself by daring us to confront the reality of death head on. To recognize that everything we hold dear is fleeting and transient, it pushes us to live more intentionally with a heightened sense of purpose, clarity, and compassion, qualities that many of us never fully nurture or embody. It serves not merely as a guide for those at the end of their lives, but as a powerful wake-up call to those of us still walking this earth, reminding us to cherish each moment and to live authentically. As you listen to this, you might experience a mixture of awe, inspiration, and perhaps even a touch of fear. Emotions that are precisely what this ancient knowledge aims to evoke. I encourage you to keep an open mind and a receptive heart as we delve more deeply into this profound wisdom, because truly understanding its essence requires us to explore its origins and learn about the visionary master who brought it into existence, shedding new light on the timeless truths it contains. How many times throughout your life have you experienced that strange, fleeting space where you're caught between what once was and what is yet to come? Those ephemeral moments filled with uncertainty, the instances marked by change and the promise of something new. Each one can be seen as a bardo, a liminal threshold. Now this is where the Tibetan Book of the Dead, also called the Bardo Thodol in some circles, delves even deeper into the mystery. It uncovers not just one, but three distinct and vital bardos, each signifying a different stage in the evolution of consciousness. Each stage presents its own set of challenges, hurdles to overcome, and opportunities for profound growth and transformation. Are you prepared to venture into these hidden, often overlooked realms that lie beyond ordinary perception? The journey begins with the first bardo, the moment of death itself. But it's important to understand that this is not merely an end, it's far from it. Picture yourself immersed in an experience so profound that it feels as though a blinding flash of pure consciousness has suddenly erupted within your mind, a fleeting instant of such pure clarity that the deepest and most hidden truths of existence are unveiled in an instant. In that moment, everything becomes undeniably clear, as if all mysteries are illuminated by an unassailable light. Then, without warning, the scene shifts to the second bardo, the bardo of visions. Visualize yourself standing amidst a whirlwind of breathtaking images and scenes, some serene, soothing, and filled with grace, while others are haunting and intimidating, stirring a sense of awe and fear. These visions swirl around you in a divine, unstoppable dance, moving in harmony and chaos alike, creating a mesmerizing tapestry of perceptions and realizations. But here's the intriguing part. These vivid visions are not external forces acting upon you, from the depths of your own consciousness. We will come back to this idea later, revisiting what it truly means. Finally, we reach the third bardo, the ultimate stage of this journey, the point where everything converges and transforms into a new understanding. The threshold of rebirth is a profound concept to imagine. Envision your consciousness stripped clean of the physical body, standing hesitantly at the very edge of a new life. In this space, every thought you have, every desire that flickers through your mind, plays an active role in shaping the reality of your next incarnation, your next existence. And it's here that the Tibetan Book of the Dead reveals a truth that feels revolutionary. You actually don't have to wait until the moment of death to access these profound transitions. Instead, every single day of your life, in some form or another, contains these sacred gateways, these opportunities for transformation and spiritual awakening. Every day is filled with chances to recognize the subtle shifts happening around and within you. That strange, fleeting feeling of disorientation, often experienced when you're caught between the surreal realm of dreams and the clarity of wakefulness. That is a mini death, a tiny crossing of thresholds. Those rare, exquisite moments of pure clarity, when you're completely immersed in the act of creating something meaningful, are moments of rebirth in their own right, opportunities to recalibrate and realign with your deeper self. Time begins to dissolve around you, shimmering, as if fading into a vague, elusive boundary, the very edge of what might be called the bardo of vision. It's as if your perception is reaching toward a limit, a horizon where clarity blurs into mystery. Each time you reach a crossroads, those moments heavy with significance, where one choice could alter your entire course, you're experiencing your own personal bardo of rebirth. It's a threshold, a liminal space where transformation quietly unfolds within you. And now, standing on the precipice of ancient wisdom that's been passed down through the ages, we're no longer content with surface-level understanding. We're prepared to plunge even deeper into the truths that lie beyond the ordinary, beyond the familiar. What actually unfolds in that fleeting yet profound moment when life begins to slip away. Prepare yourself, because what we're about to explore is the core of the first bardo, death itself, where the greatest promise for liberation whispers softly. Imagine this scene. You're standing at the very boundary of everything you've ever known, everything you've ever experienced, on the verge of crossing into an unknown that beckons with both mystery and release. In front of you stands a light so radiant, so utterly encompassing, that it appears to contain the very mysteries of existence within its luminous embrace. Its brightness is overwhelming, illuminating not just the physical realm, but hinting at truths that transcend understanding, revealing what might lie at the core of everything we are and every mystery we seek. Behind you, the echoes of your recent life softly fade away, dissolving into a swirling blur of memories, experiences, and the residual echoes of your journey thus far. This moment, this profound juncture, is death itself. It is a crossroads where ancient Tibetan wisdom intricately intertwines with the latest findings from contemporary death research, converging to offer insights into what awaits beyond this extraordinary threshold. Are you truly prepared to explore what exists beyond that dazzling, all-consuming light, that boundary which marks the end of one phase and the potential beginning of another? In this rare, fleeting instant, the moment of transition, Tibetan Buddhism reveals that death isn't merely a biological cessation or a clinical event. Instead, it is an awe-inspiring doorway, a sacred threshold that grants passage to either liberation from the cycle of rebirth or to the continuation of another journey through the realms beyond. Picture that fleeting instant when your last breath gently escapes your lips, slipping into the silence beyond. As your heartbeat gradually fades into nothingness, your physical senses diminish and fall silent, leaving you in a profound stillness. Yet despite the silence, your consciousness, now liberated from the constraints of the physical realm, remains intensely alive, more vibrant and present than ever before. This moment serves as a portal to boundless, incredible possibilities that lie beyond comprehension. Ancient spiritual texts refer to this experience as the clear light, a dazzling, radiant brilliance that gleams with the purest essence of mind itself, shining with an intensity that transcends ordinary perception. Tibetan wisdom teaches us that this luminous light is not merely an illusion or a comforting hallucination. Rather, it is the truest form of reality. and unchanging ultimate nature of everything you have ever known or experienced, revealing the core truth beyond illusion. In this exact moment, you are presented with a rare and precious opportunity to perceive the universe in its purest form, untainted by the distortions and filters of daily existence. It's a window into reality that few ever glimpse, a chance to see things as they truly are. And in this space, where the stakes are elevated, lies your potential. If you can recognize this radiant light as your own true essence, your very core awareness, then you unlock the possibility to attain the highest form of liberation, an ultimate freedom that transcends the limits of worldly experience, and all in a single, profound instant. Picture the vast possibility contained within that moment, breaking free from the endless cycle of birth and death, suffering and rebirth, moving beyond all duality and illusion, reaching a state of boundless freedom, a complete emancipation from everything that confines the mind. Yet, this moment is as brief as it is significant. The experience of this pure, luminous light, so clear and vast, exists only for an instant before it dissolves back into emptiness, leaving only the memory or the insight that it was ever there. And for countless individuals, this precious opportunity slips through their fingers, slipping away much like a fleeting dream that evaporates upon waking. Those who are unprepared, who have not nurtured and cultivated this awareness throughout their lives, may find the light so intense and luminous that it becomes overwhelming, sometimes even frightening. Instead of seeing it as an expression of their true self, they perceive it as an external, mysterious, and unfamiliar force beyond their understanding. This misunderstanding breeds fear, and as a result, they retreat into themselves, pulling their consciousness deeper into the shadowy realms of the barrows, those hidden, ancient tombs of the mind, moving away from the path of enlightenment. They drift further into darkness, onto the route of rebirth, leaving behind the potential for awakening. Delve into the hidden truths of this teaching. Uncover the subtle depths and profound wisdom that lie beneath the surface, waiting for those brave enough to seek and understand. It implies that during the very last moments of life, in that fleeting instant when everything is about to come to an end, you are given a final, fleeting window of opportunity to attain enlightenment. This is a rare chance, perhaps more profound and potent than any other moment within the entire span of existence itself. It represents the ultimate confrontation with awareness, a test that even the most dedicated and advanced spiritual practitioners dedicate their entire lives to preparing for and facing. But what if this crucial moment could also be something you could actively prepare for now? What if the closing seconds of your life didn't necessarily have to be shadowed by fear, confusion, or regret? Instead, they could be opportunities filled with clarity, understanding, and liberation from all fears. And here's the astonishing truth that Bardathorel reveals, something powerful and life-changing that transforms how we view the end of life altogether. How does someone prepare themselves for such a significant and transformative event? The answer lies in consistent mindfulness meditation and committed spiritual discipline, which gradually train the mind to recognize and attune itself to the presence of the clear light, creating a foundation of inner stability and readiness for whatever may come. This is precisely why Tibetan Buddhist practitioners devote countless years, and sometimes entire lifetimes, to the meticulous mastery of awareness. The more they dedicate themselves to nurturing this practice, the more adept they become at perceiving the ultimate nature of reality. When the moment of death arrives, they are better equipped to clearly see the luminous clarity for what it truly is, an untainted, radiant truth that reveals itself in that final instant. Envision approaching death not with a sense of fear or dread, but as an empowering and transformative voyage toward divine freedom, an opportunity to transcend the illusions of the ego and reach a state of pure consciousness. However, for many individuals, this extraordinary journey doesn't conclude with an immediate recognition of the clear light. For those who aren't yet fully prepared or able to completely acknowledge it, the journey continues beyond that initial encounter, leading into realms filled with intense, vivid, and often tumultuous experiences. These experiential realms can be mesmerizing, challenging, and deeply transformative, extending the spiritual voyage that begins with awareness into realms of heightened perception and profound mystery. These beings and monsters are not truly separate from you. They are projections born from your own mind, manifestations that mirror every hidden fear lurking in your subconscious, every secret longing that you have suppressed, and every wound that has yet to fully heal. This moment marks the second bardo, the bardo of visions, where perceptions are shaped entirely by the contents of your own psyche, revealing the intimate connection between your inner world and the external illusions you encounter. Embark on an extraordinary voyage deep into the uncharted territories of your own subconscious, a dimension that surpasses anything you've ever encountered before. Are you truly prepared to face the unvarnished truth about yourself, no matter how raw or revealing it may be? Within this profound stage of your inner exploration, your mind encounters a spectrum of spirits, some serene and gentle, others fierce and wrathful, that serve as mirrors to the core of your being, exposing what you have carried inside all along. The Bardo of Visions doesn't merely present you with fleeting glimpses of beauty or monstrosity. It dives into the very depths of your essence. Every peaceful deity you encounter embodies your highest, most enlightened qualities, your compassion, wisdom, and boundless love, while each wrathful deity stands as a stark reflection of the parts of yourself you might be afraid of, ashamed of, or have refused to acknowledge. Every figure you see, whether divine or demonic, is ultimately a mirror, revealing the intricate mosaic of your soul, your fears and your light, woven together in a complex, honest reflection. As I ask you this, I wonder, will you be able to see these as fragments of your own innermost essence, or will you shy away, retreating in fear and uncertainty? Let's begin by focusing on the calm and gentle spirits that quietly reside within and around you. Visualize yourself ensconced in a circle of luminous beings, their radiant light pouring forth compassion, profound wisdom, and a boundless sense of peaceful tranquility. You might imagine figures like the Buddha of infinite light, who embodies the pure, luminous wisdom that springs from ultimate awareness, or perhaps a mirror-like clarity that reflects your mind's highest potential for perfect harmony and balance. Their presence isn't merely peaceful or serene. It's so powerful that it fills you with a profound sense of awe and wonder, stirring a deep recognition within your spirit. But here's the twist. There's a challenge hidden within this invitation. Can you truly recognize these beings as mere reflections of your own mind, as facets of your inner self? Can you fully accept and embrace them as the purest, most authentic essence of who you truly are? If you can open your heart and mind to such recognition, then the journey reaches its ultimate destination, your liberation. you've achieved a state of profound understanding and acceptance. However, for many, this divine encounter proves overwhelming, too much to endure. The mind, unprepared and untrained to accept its own brilliance, begins to recoil and retreat. As it pulls back, the vision around you shifts and transforms. The once gentle, luminous light gradually darkens, and the serene, calm faces you saw before become fierce and intense. Suddenly, you find yourself surrounded by wrathful spirits, fierce, formidable beings with faces of fire and fury, imposing and powerful. But these terrifying figures, despite their intimidating appearance, are not enemies. Can you summon the strength to face these internal forces directly, without succumbing to fear or avoidance? The purpose behind these intense encounters and illusions is profoundly transformative. The second bardo, often misunderstood, is not a trial of faith or a punishment for past mistakes. Instead, it offers an open invitation, an opportunity to see with clarity the raw, unfiltered truth of your own mind and consciousness. According to the teachings of the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the peaceful and wrathful spirits you encounter are simply reflections, like shadows cast by the vast, intricate structure of your consciousness itself. They serve to amplify and mirror what resides within you, revealing the depths and facets of your inner world that you might otherwise overlook. They reveal to you everything that has sculpted the course of your life, the attachments you formed, the fears that hold you captive, the unacknowledged desires lurking in the shadows, laid bare in a way that leaves no room for denial. It's a raw, honest confrontation with your true self, presenting an unvarnished mirror that forces you to see what's been hidden away. This confrontation offers a rare and powerful opportunity to transcend the heavy weight of lifetimes of karmic baggage, if only you can summon the awareness and courage to face it head-on. But why should this matter to us now, in the present moment? Because in life, the experiences and visions you encounter in this bardo, this in-between state, are echoes and reflections of everything you carry deep within you at this very moment. These visions are not just for the souls that have passed on. They serve as mirrors for what still resides within your own subconscious, your fears, desires, regrets, and hopes, all playing a pivotal role in shaping your choices and guiding your actions every day. They remind us that the inner landscape we often overlook is constantly influencing us, whether we realize it or not, and that understanding and acknowledging it can open the door to genuine transformation. What? The same anger, fear, compassion, and peace that reside within you today are the very forces you will encounter in the afterlife. This moment of transition, this bardo, pushes you to confront those very energies now, while you still possess the opportunity to influence, shift, and transcend them. Imagine what could unfold if you started to perceive each fear you hold, every aspiration you chase in life, as manifestations of these divine forces. These entities, these deities, serve as guides, there to teach you, to reveal what you need to rise above and move beyond. Think about how ecologists like Carl Jung have drawn striking and profound parallels between these spiritual teachings and the intricate nature of the human psyche, illuminating deep connections between inner spiritual work and understanding our subconscious. Jung regarded the gods and demons described in the Tibetan Book of the Dead as archetypes that reside within each of us, representing universal figures that mirror the depths of our collective unconscious. He articulated that these divine and demonic entities are essentially projections originating from the unconscious mind, embodying forces that are immense and unavoidable until we gain clarity and insight into their true nature as integral parts of ourselves. This perspective serves as a reminder that we are already inhabited by these powerful internal forces, whether we are consciously aware of them or not. They are not merely distant or mythic visions for the afterlife, but are actively present aspects of our everyday consciousness, influencing our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. These archetypal figures are waiting patiently to be acknowledged, understood, and integrated into our understanding of ourselves, revealing how deeply intertwined these mythic dimensions are with our personal reality. For those who fail to see these beings and forces as internal projections and instead believe them to be external, real, and separate, the experience can become terrifying. The terror arises from the mistaken belief in the reality of these entities outside oneself, leading to fear and confusion rather than understanding and growth. The mind, unable to fully comprehend or truly grasp its own fundamental nature, finds itself caught in a web of illusions, projections, and misperceptions, which leads it astray. As a result, it begins to mistake its own internal creations, these mental images, thoughts, and feelings, for external dangers or threats lurking outside itself. It's akin to wandering aimlessly within a twisted, nightmarish landscape of your own making, where fear and confusion reign supreme. And at this perilous juncture, the stakes are raised considerably. The internal battleground becomes more intense and fragile. If you fail to recognize these projections and illusions as products of your own mind, as reflections of your inner state rather than external realities, then there's a real danger of slipping deeper into endless cycles of fear, confusion, and illusion, which can perpetuate the cycle of rebirth or continual suffering. You remain chained by the very attachments to things you cling to and the aversions you desperately try to avoid, forces that you are unable or unwilling to face fully. The second bardo, in this context, emerges as a moment of profound revelation, an unmasking that exposes the true self in its most raw, unfiltered state. It's a moment of intense clarity, revealing the self in its purest form, stripped of all illusions and distortions. In this divine mirror, you are shown the depths of what truly resides within, the raw, unvarnished truth of your inner essence, unmasked and undeniable. Are you prepared to have your soul exposed in its raw, unguarded state? Do you have the courage to face that divine mirror, an honest reflection that reveals everything you might prefer to hide, and accept whatever appears within it, without denial or resistance? Because the step that follows this awareness plunges even deeper into the core of your being, where every choice you make here and now will influence and shape the very nature of who you are and the life you're building. Now picture yourself adrift in a vast, formless sea, an endless expanse with no fixed boundaries or familiar landmarks. The life you once knew, the stability, the identity, all of it has vanished, leaving you exposed and vulnerable in this quiet, infinite void. And suddenly, there is an immovable, undeniable pull that draws you onward, a force as compelling and irresistible as gravity itself, tugging at your very core and pulling you toward a new, uncharted reality. You find yourself immersed in the bardo of rebirth, the pivotal third stage in the complex journey that extends beyond death's final veil. In this extraordinary realm, every thought you harbor, every unresolved emotion lingering within, and every karmic imprint etched into your being becomes the powerful guiding force that shapes your destiny. Your consciousness, now laid bare and stripped of illusions, acts as a magnetic field, attracting and holding within all the elements that will form the foundation of your next existence. The weight of this moment is immense. The stakes could not be higher. The forthcoming chapter of your soul's story is on the brink of being written, and it is the very essence of who you are, your deepest truths, your lingering shadows, your hopes and fears, that will determine the path ahead. This isn't a gentle, passive drift through the realm of the afterlife. Rather, it's an intense, tumultuous process of creation. Every choice you've ever made, every desire you've harbored, and every hidden fear you've kept concealed, all of these surface now, becoming the raw material from which your new reality is forged. The space you're in, a kind of intermediate state, known as the bardo of rebirth, is devoid of filters or illusions, leaving no place to hide or escape. In this moment, you embody both the artist and the canvas, actively shaping and sculpting the blueprint that will define your next existence. Here, karma manifests in a tangible, almost material form, pulling you inexorably toward the life you are fated to inhabit, guiding your every step in accordance with the accumulated deeds and emotions you've carried with you. Imagine yourself standing amidst a vibrant, swirling tapestry of visions. Faces that reflect your deepest connections, landscapes that hint at your adventures and dreams, entire worlds teeming with the possibilities your future holds, all woven together as potential paths for your soul to follow. These images are not mere happenstance or random flashes passing through your mind. They are the collective manifestation of your inner state, your feelings, beliefs, and energies made visible. If your heart has been cultivated with kindness, self-awareness, and wisdom, these visions are likely to shine with brightness and warmth, inviting you forward and guiding you toward a life brimming with opportunity and growth. Conversely, if fear, anger, or attachment have taken hold within you, these visions may appear darker, more chaotic, and tumultuous, each one representing a possible rebirth or transformation that pulls at your core, tugging on the invisible threads of karma that connect your past, present, and future. These threads draw you irresistibly toward the path that aligns most deeply with who you truly are and the life you are destined to live. The clarity or the chaos, the peace or the turmoil, these states become a swirling vortex of emotions, memories, and energies spinning endlessly around you. This vortex acts like a gravitational pull, constantly tugging and drawing you toward one life, one realm or another, depending entirely on the vibrations and patterns you cling to within your conscious and subconscious mind. Can you locate that peaceful space within yourself, the core of clear understanding that can steer you toward true freedom instead of falling into further confinement? Or will you allow yourself to be carried away by the weight of your unresolved karma, which keeps pulling you back into the cycle of endless rebirth? Now, pause for a moment and think about this deeply. The visions you experience within the realm of rebirth are not merely distant, fading images of the past. They serve as pathways, doorways, or portals into different realms that resonate with the vibrational frequency of your own mind and consciousness. Each of these visions reflects the intensity of the emotions you've carried with you through various lives, the fears that haunt you, the attachments that hold you down, and the hopes or desires you have left unfulfilled and unresolved. These visions are manifestations of the unresolved energies and feelings you have yet to fully confront or let go of, revealing what still lingers within your subconscious and subconscious mind. You don't consciously select a new life in the same casual way as you might pick out a new pair of shoes from a store. Instead, your entire being, your consciousness, is subtly but powerfully guided by the accumulated karma, the sum of every moment of your life that acts like an invisible gravitational pull. This force draws you toward a life that resonates with your current soul frequency, aligning your circumstances, relationships, and experiences with the vibration you emit and the lessons you need to learn. It's a sophisticated dance of energy and destiny, where your soul's evolution shapes the very fabric of your reality. And while your conscious mind might not be actively directing your actions at this moment, there still exists a faint glimmer of choice, a tiny sliver of control accessible within you. If you manage to keep your mind clear and cultivate a sense of calm awareness, there's a possibility that you can still influence the outcome of what's unfolding around you. If you can stay detached enough, recognizing that each vision or thought is simply a creation of your own mind, you might begin to transcend the strong pull of automatic reactions and conditioned responses altogether. In Tibetan Buddhism, this process isn't merely about the beliefs surrounding an afterlife. It's fundamentally a reminder that our actions currently have weight, importance, and impact, even in the present moment, which is often overlooked. What if every act of kindness you perform, no matter how small, could ripple through time and space, shaping not only your own experience, but also influencing the world around you in profound ways? If you find yourself trapped in repetitive patterns of fear, anger, or attachment, how can you break free from those cycles? What hidden truths or insights are waiting for you to uncover next? Remember, your thoughts are powerful. They shape the journey you're on right now. You're not merely a passive viewer of life, but an active participant. You belong to the philosophical Essence family, a community on a shared quest for understanding. Together, let's unravel the mysteries that truly matter, those truths that can transform and elevate us. Keep shining your light brightly, illuminating the path for yourself and others alike. Tibetan Buddhism offers the profound understanding that through dedicated practice of mindfulness, meditation, and living consciously, you have the power to fundamentally transform the energetic forces that drive and propel you forward in life. It emphasizes that this process isn't merely about striving to be morally good or simply steering clear of negative actions. Rather, it's about cultivating a deep, insightful understanding of your own mind. By doing so, you can uncover the root causes and karmic patterns underlying your behaviors and reactions, and then address those with clarity and compassion. The more you develop awareness of each thought, emotion, and instinct as it arises, the better equipped you become to not be swept away by the turbulent, chaotic currents of the bardo of rebirth when that moment inevitably arrives. This heightened consciousness acts as a subtle anchor, guiding you through the cycles of reincarnation with a greater sense of mastery and peace. And the bardo of rebirth gently imparts the understanding that karma shouldn't be viewed as something punitive or rewarding, but rather as an inherent law woven into the very fabric of our existence. It functions more like a mirror of our inner states, a reflection of our thoughts, intentions, and actions projected outward onto reality itself. In this perspective, every conscious moment you actively engage in awareness, mindfulness, and ethical practice becomes a meaningful step on the path toward liberation. It's a conscious effort to shape your future with wisdom, compassion, and clarity, guiding you away from confusion and suffering. The third bardo, in particular, opens up the revelation of a profound lesson. highlighting that the incredible capacity of your mind to shape your experience isn't limited to the realm of life or death alone. Instead, it extends beyond, emphasizing that your mental potential has the power to create, transform, and influence reality across all states of existence. If you had the ability to change the course of your next life right this very moment, what would you choose to create or transform? And more importantly, how will you begin the process of bringing that vision into reality, starting right now, in this very instant? Reflect on this concept. Tibetan Buddhism provides a comprehensive set of practices that serve to guide not only those who are nearing death, but also the living, assisting them in cultivating qualities such as clarity, fearlessness, and compassion, traits that are vital when confronting the mysteries of the unknown. Among these practices, one of the most profound and impactful is known as consciousness transference. Visualize yourself in the final moments of life, consciously directing your mind with purpose and intent, much like aiming an arrow straight toward enlightenment. This practice isn't rooted in fear of death or in clinging desperately to life. Rather, it embodies a serene acceptance and a deliberate effort to transition consciousness in a way that aligns with spiritual awakening and understanding. It's about intentionally guiding your consciousness beyond the confines of this world, even while you're gradually releasing your attachment to it. This ancient technique, rooted in timeless wisdom, could very well hold the secret to attaining true peace and genuine freedom. No matter how the twists and turns of life play out, and now we arrive at the practical side of things. Begin by dedicating a portion of each day to a meditation focused on impermanence. This simple yet profound practice involves cultivating a deep awareness that life is both precious and incredibly fleeting. Such awareness shifts the way you experience everything, transforming each moment into something more vivid, more meaningful, and every decision into an act of greater intention. It's as if you're training your mind to perceive life from the expansive perspective of eternity, fostering a sense of serenity that transcends the ordinary and connects you to the eternal rhythm of existence. But if, instead of feeling anxious or overwhelmed about the inevitable end, you shifted your perspective and approached each day as a precious and rare opportunity, an invaluable chance to grow spiritually, love deeply, and immerse yourself fully in every moment, no matter how fleeting. Tibetan Buddhists emphasize that this daily awareness of impermanence serves to cultivate a profound resilience, grounding you with clarity and a sense of purpose. When that final moment eventually arrives, this mindset helps you remain calm, prepared, and willing to let go gracefully, knowing you have embraced life's transient nature. Another vital practice in this tradition is what's called Tunwen, a powerful technique for nurturing compassion. It involves visualizing yourself breathing in the suffering, pain, and difficult emotions of others, truly absorbing their struggles with an open heart. Then, as you exhale, imagine sending out love, healing energy, and compassion in return, creating a cycle of mutual kindness. This practice reinforces a deep bond of empathy and understanding, fostering a generous spirit that extends beyond the individual, enriching both your life and the lives of those around you. It may seem straightforward on the surface, but this approach represents a profound and revolutionary method for opening your heart wider and gradually dissolving the tendencies of self-centeredness that often dominate our minds. This practice, while appearing simple, carries the potential to fundamentally reshape how you relate to the world and to those around you. It's not solely aimed at making you a kinder, more considerate individual, though that can certainly be a consequence. It's fundamentally about dismantling the mental and emotional walls that separate you from others. In Tibetan Buddhism, cultivating genuine compassion isn't merely an optional virtue or a pleasant extra. It is regarded as an indispensable inner capacity. Developing this compassion becomes a vital tool, especially when navigating the bardos, the transitional states between death and rebirth, because in these liminal realms, confronting visions and realities can evoke intense fear and disorientation. An open, loving, and understanding heart, cultivated through consistent practice, has the power to transform those terrifying visions into moments of liberation and awakening. When faced with the afterlife's luminous, often overwhelming displays, a heart rooted in love and empathy can change the entire experience, turning what might be a source of dread into an opportunity for realization, freeing oneself from the cycle of suffering that binds us all. Mantras have a long-standing history, with ancient sound vibrations being chanted and practiced for countless thousands of years across various cultures and spiritual traditions. These aren't simply ordinary words or mere utterances. They are powerful frequencies that serve to synchronize and elevate your mind to higher levels of awareness and consciousness. Picture the profound sense of calmness and sharp focus that builds within you as you repeat these sacred syllables, each one resonating deeply within your being. Every mantra acts as a training tool for your consciousness, preparing you to navigate and transition smoothly through the different stages known as the bardos, the intermediate states between life and death, or between different layers of existence. Consider these sacred sounds as divine tuning forks, subtly adjusting and aligning your inner vibrations with the inherent rhythms and harmony of the universe itself. By recognizing and attuning your mind to these universal rhythms through the practice of mantras, you are essentially aligning your inner frequencies with the greater cosmic order, fostering a connection that transcends ordinary perception. Tibetan Buddhists employ mantras not solely as a means to prepare for the moment of death, but also as a powerful practice to cultivate a life filled with greater intention and purpose. By engaging with mantras on a daily basis, they foster a deeper connection with the present moment, nurturing mental habits that equip them to confront both the challenges of everyday life and the inevitability of death with greater clarity, calm, and fearlessness. When we step back to observe the bigger picture, it becomes clear that these Tibetan practices extend far beyond mere spiritual exercises. They serve as essential tools for fundamentally reshaping and redefining one's entire outlook on life, encouraging a shift in perspective that influences how one perceives existence, mortality, and what it truly means to live well. When you begin to view each moment as truly precious and every action as meaningful, your entire perspective shifts profoundly. Suddenly, petty worries and trivial concerns fade into the background, replaced by a deep sense of purpose and unwavering focus. This shift is the true power that comes from consciously preparing for death while still fully alive, realizing that life is finite and making each second count. You stop being at the mercy of fear, anxiety, or the unknown, and instead, you move through life with a centered calmness and strength. You feel equipped with the tools to confront whatever may come your way with dignity and grace, no matter what unfolds. Envision what could happen if even a small part of society embraced this mindset. How different our collective approach to life, death, and living might be, fostering greater authenticity, resilience, and peace, rather than running away from the stark truth of death. What if we chose to face it head-on, viewing it not as an enemy or a fearful unknown, but as a profound source of insight and growth? We could learn to accept death, as an integral part of existence, allowing it to serve as a guiding light that shapes our way of living. Tibetan Buddhists, for instance, regard death as one of our greatest teachers, an ultimate motivator that pushes us to live more vibrantly, more bravely, and with greater presence. To them, the goal isn't to avoid or deny death, but to cultivate a consciousness so deep that death naturally becomes woven into the fabric of our life's journey. Could adopting this outlook transform our experience, leading us to a life where fear diminishes and joy flourishes? Imagine that truly embracing the reality of mortality might hold the secret to genuine freedom, liberation from the fear that shackles us, and a doorway to living more fully and authentically. What if in facing death, we find the key to unlocking a deeper sense of liberation within ourselves? How will you prepare yourself for this inevitable journey? And in doing so, how will this preparation change the way you live your life in the here and now? Take a moment to reflect and share your thoughts in the comments below. Imagine this for a second, what it would feel like to live with that awareness, that intentionality, and how different your life might look when you approach it with that mindset. You're lying peacefully on your deathbed, surrounded by those who care about you the most, your family, friends, and those who've been woven into the fabric of your life. Yet, instead of the usual quiet or some comforting vague reassurances, a sacred and resonant voice begins to emerge from the depths, gentle yet insistent, guiding you with a wisdom that feels eternal. It whispers the secrets of a mysterious journey, a voyage that no one else can perceive or understand, offering you insights into a pathway beyond the physical world. These words are more than mere sounds. They serve as a profound and powerful map, illuminating a way through the mysteries of the afterlife, providing clarity, direction, and a sense of purpose in those final moments. This map also holds the potential to allow you to break free from the relentless, cyclical nature of rebirth and reincarnation, opening a gateway to what lies beyond. This experience transcends simple fiction or myth. It's a deeply transformative, real process. It involves utilizing the teachings found in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, also known as the Bardo Thadal, as a conscious tool for facing death with awareness, intention, and a profound sense of presence. Picture the scene in Tibetan monasteries for a moment. As someone approaches death, a lama, a spiritual guide who has spent years mastering these teachings, sits beside them. This lama reads from the bottle, describing in vivid detail the stages the soul will encounter after leaving the body. These words aren't just comforting whispers. They're an orientation for the soul, guiding it through realms most people can only imagine. This tradition takes end-of-life care to an entirely different dimension, treating death not as a tragedy, but as the most profound transition of all. Contrast this approach with what we often see in modern settings, where death is typically met with fear or avoidance, managed clinically, and rarely spoken about openly. In Tibetan Buddhism, however, death is a meticulously prepared journey. The Bardo Thadal acts like a spiritual compass, helping the soul navigate through visions of blinding lights, serene deities, and fierce demons, all the intense projections that arise in the afterlife. But here's the incredible twist. These visions aren't external beings or otherworldly punishment. They are reflections of the mind itself, mirrors of your own inner world. Can you imagine having a guide who helps you recognize this and stay calm, centered, and aware through the most intense experiences of existence? The Bardo Thadal isn't just a script read at the bedside. It's a roadmap to recognize the illusions that arise in the transition. It's an instruction manual for seeing beyond these illusions and realizing the true nature of your own conscious. As Trump Ryan Push wisely stated, The whole thing is based on another way of looking at the psychological picture of ourselves in terms of a practical meditative situation. This perspective offers a radical shift in how we view both life and death. By embracing the teachings of the Bardos, we can navigate life's transitions with greater ease and clarity, recognizing each change as a mini death and rebirth. This journey into the unknown is just the beginning. If you're ready to go even deeper, ready to question everything you think you know about who you truly are, then don't miss out on our recent video called "You Are Not Human, You Are Being Human." If you want to keep exploring these mysteries with us, drop our eye in the comments. Let me know.